Yeah.
When I started watching this, I was like, oh my God, at some point they'll both be sitting in the or the witness box and hear that video played for them as they're being cross-examined.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, on the superficial front, because that's of course where I shine, uh, this production is so. I looked at it. Well, that's not a bad high school project. I mean, it's just not good. And I'll make one other observation for Miss Barnhart. No woman looks her best with her hair pulled back like that.
Typical man.
I'm sorry, just loosen up, baby.
Okay, everybody. All right, everyone, just smack Michael Bryan across the face. It's okay.
Okay, so now we're going to move to, and this is one of the more substantive questions having to do with the analyzer and the change to it. So let me cue that up, because the way they poo-poo this was rather shocking. So here we go.
Okay. To the best of our knowledge and ability at the time, based on the research, we always want to give information which can be verified by the examiners. And in this case, once I started to look at the data and look at the evidence, I determined that the timestamp in the browser state database was related to the time that the tab, so the browser tab actually took focus, and not the time that the search occurred or the navigation event occurred. So essentially, if you imagine opening up a brand new tab at 10 a.m. in the morning, using it to surf for 30 minutes or so, visiting numerous web pages during that time. When you eventually close that tab, a record's created in the browser state database saying the tab opened at 10 a.m. The last page that was visited, the one that was visited at like 10:30, is this. So there's no correlation between the two. And that's essentially what my research was focusing on, that timestamp is not necessarily the time the page was visited. It could be before, it could be after, but it's irrelevant to the actual URL. So based on that, we updated our decoding to remove any kind of confusion and to ensure that we give you the web page that was visited, but we can't say that this is the time. So we just remove the time altogether because we don't.
And I think that's way better. And something I wanted to comment to some of the social media trolls who have zero digital forensics knowledge in their bodies, but think they know better than our very own Ian Whiffin. Tools cannot be static in nature. A static tool should never be used in a forensic lab ever, because technology is constantly changing. These apps change, browsers change, and we adapt to it. So we have to just keep the research going and keep feeding our tools and making them better.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you stop this, Michael? Because I want to just say something here. Yes, dear. Let me use that terminology for you. Us viewers, including us lawyers who do this all the time, we don't rely on people. We have no knowledge of anything that's going on. And you who have to convince the jury that what you do is true, you just talk down to everybody in the world who does not have, Ian Whiffin does not have a degree, from what I understand. Talk down to everybody in the world who doesn't do digital forensics and says, well, we know best. I think that part was just a disaster, but I'm just a lawyer.
Like Michael says, I don't think the audience was regular folk. I think it was in-house, and so they're all very happy with themselves. So, Michael, let's set aside the timing of the need to make a change, which was after trial one. Now they make a change. What's your take on this need to keep enhancing the software, making changes as necessary, and then apply that to the specific use here?
Mm-hmm. In my experience, I use tools as well. And there's instances where a business record or some type of geolocation file may come to me that is not supported by the tool. And I recognize that because I'm looking at the foundation or the actual data, the raw data, and making that determination that the tool will not conduct the analysis correctly, right? And so there's instances where I would do that by hand, or I'd inform the developer, we have new types of files your tool will not ingest. These are the things we need the tool to identify, and this is what I want the tool to produce based on the raw data. Now, that's from the perspective of looking at raw data and telling the tool what to do. I get the feeling that they let the tool do something, and then when it comes out, they take it as fact, and it's not until it doesn't, scan with the rest of their case that then they go, well, maybe the tool gave us something wrong. Maybe we should figure out if the tool's doing this correctly. And that's worrisome, right? And I think we could all agree to that, because if, as Whiffin had testified to, if Mr. Green didn't call the help desk, or as maybe he's saying now in his video, that blogger didn't reach out, would we all still be moving forward with the tool producing a timestamp of 6/27, right? And we have to accept that that's probably going to have happened or be possible. And so I don't like this fact that the validation and testing is something that he describes as his benchmark for fixing something, yet the conclusion got worse. And the conclusion is we have no idea what time this thing occurred. We don't know if it was or wasn't at 6/27 or 6/23 or 7/27. So we're just going to get rid of it because we can't understand why the tool shows it. That, to me, is a fundamental misunderstanding of the raw data, which is what I'm trying to describe. And I go into this a lot. I'm probably talking too fast for you on this one, but is the tool is not the expert. The tool is not the expert. You are the expert. You should be able to interpret the raw data and produce a result absent the tool. And then you should be telling the tool what to produce for you in the extraction. So these are going to be really challenging points for them and any Cellebrite examiner going forward, for sure.
It seems
Michael,
to
can I
me
just ask? Go ahead, Michael.
the tool is Ian Whiffin, but it seems to me that it's almost like so convenient, it's suspicious. Now that this 227 search is so damning, then it's irrelevant, and let's just say it never really happened because we're fixing the tool now. And he may be 100% right. I don't know. You know far better than I would, Michael. But maybe that's true. Maybe they did need to fix it, and maybe it is giving some misleading information. But how do you believe that in the context of how they used it in this case?
That's a really great point, and I would tend to agree that what the tool is doing should have been corrected because it's ambiguous as to the time. And I think if you were to go back and watch some prior videos that you and I've had together, you asked me at one point what I thought about Cellebrite, and one of the comments I tend to recall making was that in my experience, Cellebrite has never done good with time. And I've always tried to instill in students that I work with is don't let Cellebrite, or I mean, I don't even want to only say Cellebrite, don't let the physical extraction of a mobile device be your sole source of intelligence for timeline assessment. You really need to focus on outside factors to develop timeline, and let the physical extraction help fill in the gaps or give content to what they were saying or doing in some of those places. So yeah, I think that change should have been made. The challenge that I have with that is we all sort of then have to accept, well, that was the only possible error that's in that tool at this point. And the reality is that doesn't feel right, because how many other things in there were told to us, just like as Heather said, in your face, being true, that 1 month from now, 2 months, 6 months, a year from now, we're going to learn were not true.